I'm going to go through the same process that I work with the choir on. We're going to take a look at notes and rhythms, okay? I'm just going to teach you a simple tune. But even more than learning the tune is looking at the words, identifying the spirit and the energy that underlie those words. And these words are relevant to everyone. I'm using a song from the Catholic Church. But the fact that it comes from the Catholic Church is, quite frankly, irrelevant. When it's the message, it transfers to every heart in the world. It doesn't matter what their belief structure is. It doesn't matter what their belief structure isn't. Perhaps they're even atheists. Every person can identify with the underlying spirit and energy of what we are singing. And in that sense, Catholic is universal. Okay? So let's take a look at this. I guess I should tell you the number. Open up to number 209 in your hymnal. It's a song called Flow, River, Flow. We did it earlier today at Mass. And I had actually talked to the choir about it a bit before Mass as well, so they're rather familiar with it. So first thing, the notes and rhythms are really easy. So I'm just going to go through them with you. And I encourage everyone to sing. Is there anyone here who would generally feel uncomfortable singing? Or do you all feel comfortable? Okay. Because this is something that comes up in congregations where there are lots of people who they don't feel comfortable. Maybe someone from their childhood told them, oh, you're tone deaf, sweetie, don't sing too loudly. Maybe some negative thing has been implanted in someone's mind and they've just grown up their whole life thinking that they can't carry a tune. So therefore, they don't let this energetic and spiritual gift flow out of them simply because it's coming through music. And you know what? Maybe the message that they got at some point in their life was just dead wrong. So there are many reasons why people don't feel comfortable singing and opening up and letting all that stuff flow out. Okay, so hopefully we won't have that issue today. But if you feel anything inside of you that kind of feels hindered, if you ever at any point feel hindered in your singing or in the giving of whatever gift it is that you're giving in that moment, take a look at where you feel it. Are you feeling it in your stomach? Are you feeling it in your heart? Are you feeling it in your throat? Are you feeling it? Is there like a little subconscious message going on up here in your head that holds you back? So anything that might hinder you from fully letting the energy and the spirit of what we're going to work on out, just make a little mental note of it and add it to that mirror that we talked about in the first step of being able to see yourself as you actually are. All right, so we've got this tune. We're just going to take little bits and pieces. We're not going to go through the whole thing right away. So, choir, go ahead and sing with me. Let's do the first half of the refrain. We have all of our words. We have all of our meaning in these first two phrases. Flow, river, flow, flow over me, the living water poured out for free. Okay? We're just going to do the notes and rhythms now because that's the practical thing we need to learn in order to get to our more spiritual thing. Okay? So here we go. 3, 4. 2 more times so those who are new to the song can kind of learn the notes and rhythms and not be hung up on that aspect of it. Okay? Here we go. Are you all comfortable looking at the notes and rhythms on the page so when it goes up, you make your voice go up? When it goes down, you make your voice go down? All right. 3, 4. Symbolically. Why would a person want that? Why would a person want it so much that they would say it out loud? Why would a person want it so much that they not only say it out loud with their voice, but they sing it? What is it that people want? Cleansing.
Refreshing.
Refreshing.
Washing all the gunk off.
Yes. And we can, do you see how this is not a matter of religion? It's a matter of identifying the spirit. Everyone has this spirit of wanting to be cleansed within them. We go through our day, we pick up all this heavy energy, right? This goes wrong, that goes wrong, I need to take care of this, I'm feeling rushed to get there. And throughout the daily activity of our mundaneness, we pick up all this heavy energy, and we don't even necessarily realize that it's happening. Until at the end of the day, we sit down and it's like, whew, I can finally sit and relax for a bit, right? But sometimes sitting and relaxing a bit isn't enough. We want more than to just space out and just let ourselves relax. We want to feel revitalized. And that is something different than simply relaxing. Sometimes we do simply want to relax, and that's totally fine. But other times we want more than that. We want to feel like not only we are letting go of the heaviness that we've taken on, but that we're actually washed clean. We have that refreshment. Because it's when we have that refreshment, that refreshed feeling, then it's like, oh, I feel nice and fresh. Now I can go out and I can give my gift to the world. It's pretty hard to give your gift to the world when you're bogged down with all the heaviness that we get wrapped up in. So we need to take that time for ourselves to not only space out and relax, but to actually become cleansed. It's from that place that we can give our gift fully, potently, and purely. Okay? So, now, with that in mind, a question. The desire to feel refreshment, the desire to feel this charge that allows you to go out and give. Where does it come from? Where do you feel it? When you think, feel the desire. Take a moment to go inside of yourself and feel the desire for refreshment. And tell me what part of your body you feel it in. Right there in your heart. Carol had it. So, when you're singing this, and you're saying, flow, river, flow, flow over me, can you feel that sensation right there in your heart? Because that is the movement of your spirit. If you're simply saying the words unconsciously and you don't have that feeling in your heart as you're singing them or saying them, there's a disconnect there. And it's okay to have a disconnect. But back to step one, become aware if and when you have a disconnect. Okay, it's not that you have to be connected all the time. Okay? Because no one is connected all the time. But to be aware of when you are and when you're not. Okay? So, can you feel in your heart that desire for refreshment? And now, let's sing the refrain again with that sensation in your heart. 3, desire to feel refreshment. But now let's look at the words of the first verse. You will be mine, and I will be your God, for I will wash you clean. And a new heart, a heart of flesh and feeling, I will place within you for your heart of stone. Now, who are you as you sing this? You are God. In a more earthly sense, you are the healer. What is it to be godly? They talk a lot in church about godliness, but what is it to be godly? To be godly is not your set of beliefs that other people have told you to believe. Your godliness comes from being worthy and doing things like this. What is this person doing? What is this God figure doing? Out of love, out of compassion, this energy, this entity that is divine is going and reaching out to another to help that person be better. And a new heart, a heart of flesh and feeling, I will place within you for your heart of stone. How often do people have the heart of stone where they don't care? Apathy. And we all have it within us. Everyone has apathy within them. The question is, how often do you let it reign? This picture that we are seeing of what it is to be godly is a picture of empathy. It is a picture of one entity wanting to help and take care of another entity. And once again, that is something every atheist can identify with. Okay? So, can you, as we sing the verse, which is a very similar tune to the refrain, as we sing the verse, now can you take on the headspace of being godly and wanting, genuinely wanting in your heart to help another person become compassionate and loving? In the refrain, we were the person receiving the healing. Now in the verse, we are the people doing the healing. Okay? So let's go ahead and give that a try. Here's the end of the refrain going into that first verse. Psychological dynamic and the energetic dynamic need to change. These psychological and energy dynamics, that is the mode by which the Spirit moves through us. And if we don't have awareness, if we have not opened ourselves up to actually see that this stuff is sitting right there in front of us, if we don't even see that it's in front of us, then the Spirit is definitely hindered from flowing through us. That's why the first step of awareness is so important. You become aware of who you are. You become aware of what you're singing. You become aware of what you're saying. You become aware of what you're praying. You become aware of what the other people around you are experiencing. Become aware. Because once you're aware, then you see these changes. And that's a pretty big shift, to go from the person being healed to the healer and then back again. But when you are aware of it, then you can become what I call a conduit. It's no longer about you. It's about the message that is flowing through you. And that is what I call being a conduit for the divine. Your ego is out of the way. You're no longer Christina. You're no longer Alan. You're no longer Paul. You're no longer you. You are letting something greater than you flow through you by being in touch with what that Spirit is. So do you see how that process that we talked about at the beginning is applicable to very practical things, like learning how to sing a song? So think about that process as you go through your week and say, you know what, where is this process relevant to me? And you will find that one of the biggest places it is surrounding you is in your relationships. You will see them all over the place, this dynamic, because it's through our relationships that we give our gift. Whether it's a relationship with other people in our lives, our relationship with the animals in our lives, the relationship we have with the environment that surrounds us. How often do we walk into our homes every day and we just take them for granted? It's the roof over our heads, but we've stopped seeing it. We've stopped seeing and being grateful for this environment that provides us shelter. We're no longer seeing, and because we cannot see, we cannot appreciate. So that's why the first step of generating awareness is so important. Because those gifts that you have to give, the honesty, the appreciation, the adoration, the cherishing, all those wonderful gifts that are there to give cannot flow until you become aware. That's the first step. And the more aware you are, the more deeply you can give your gifts. So that's my primary message today, is to build that awareness, because that is your first step to a whole series of wonderfulness that has the potential to come into your life. All right, so take that with you, and throughout the week, just touch base with yourself. Am I aware? And what am I aware of? And what am I not aware of? What should I become aware of? What is around me that I'm not seeing? Oh, I see that now. Okay, so take it and see what areas of your life you can apply it to. And I'd love to hear your stories. So yeah, I'm glad you guys stayed and did this with us. And if you want to come do stuff with the choir, this is the kind of stuff we do, like at rehearsal. Not this Wednesday night because there's Assumption, but every Wednesday night we have rehearsal, and this is the kind of stuff we do. And I think the choir and the musicians, that what we have going on has become something of a little haven of this spirituality within a much larger structure. And the more small havens there are, joining together to make a bigger structure, then you have a thriving community.